Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
It's a rainy Friday night in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Thank goodness for that roof. It's all closed up tonight. We're ready for the first game of the series. The Brew Crew and the Cincinnati Reds, division rivals, trying to fight their way out of last place in this division. And we got a couple of prospects on the mound tonight. Youngsters, 22-year-old Zach Davies making just his fourth career start against 22-year-old Brandon Finnegan. This is start number 1 for him. He was in the Cueto deal from the Royals. He's on the mound tonight. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us this evening. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson, and Sophia Minard is our reporter tonight. So interesting to look at this series. We have all of these rookies. This is going to be a series for the first time since 1913 where each of the 3 games will each have a rookie starting pitcher, and on the mound tonight is Zach Davies, and he's done a very good job. The numbers don't show it, but this guy's got some hope.
Yeah, he's got the moxie out there in the mound. He's only 22, but he pitches very confident out there in the mound. He needs a bounce back. He got hammered pretty good against the Pirates in Pittsburgh, 3 2/3. The problem he had was location, bad location, 5 walks, 6 runs in 3 2/3, and that was after his best start. I mean, 7 innings against the Marlins, 1 run, did not walk a batter. So the key to his success tonight is to find that location on the fastball. Don't overuse the changeup, which he did against the Pirates.
Well, we had a very scary scene here last night with Jimmy Nelson. Zach Davies understands the danger in the game, and he doesn't throw hard. He's got that changeup, and he's on the mound following Nelson. Nelson's doing all right. He's in the hospital once again tonight. We have a report coming from Sophia Minard right after this.
Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Friday night baseball here at Miller Park. We are getting ready for the final series matchup between the Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds as they wrap up their division play. And last night, a very scary scene with Jimmy Nelson being hit in the head by a line drive in the third inning. But very good news from Jimmy Nelson today following that injury. Jimmy Nelson was taken to the hospital immediately after that hit last night. He did undergo a CT scan and it came back with no fractures and a contusion. He was not diagnosed with a concussion. Jimmy stayed in the hospital overnight. He is expected to remain there for another night for observation, but athletic trainer Dan Wright provided an update on Jimmy Nelson's status today.
You know, he's doing very well, considering what happened last night. You know, we all expect the worst in a situation, an impact like that. He was remarkably responsive at the point of impact when it happened, all the way through the process of evaluation into the clubhouse and into the even at the hospital, at Freighter Hospital. He was doing very well. Checking in on him again this morning. His spirits are good. He's chomping at the bit to get back to the ballpark. But just because of the nature of the injury, we're going to be a little more cautious. Keep him one more night tonight and make sure that everything is under control before he's released.
Brewers manager Craig Counsell hopeful that Jimmy Nelson would rejoin the club in the next few days. The Brewers now looking to continue their dominance against the Reds. It's rookie ball. We've got the rookie Zach Davies going up against the lefty Brandon Finnegan.
There he is, Zach Davies. He doesn't look like a big leaguer, but he is, and he's hoping to stay and be a part of this rotation next season. Big night for him on the mound. Brewers baseball tonight presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Roof is closed up. The panels are closed up. We've got a lot of rain and thunderstorms moving through the area tonight. Thank goodness for the roof. 64 degrees outside. Climate controlled inside, and we're ready for game one of this series. Brian Price's Cincinnati Reds are here. Potawatomi batting order for Price. It's Bourgeois, Schumacher, Brandon Phillips. Then you got Todd Frazier, Jay Bruce, Eugenio Suarez. Adam Duvall will start at first base. Tucker Barnhart behind the plate, and Brandon Finnegan making his first major league start here tonight. No Joey Votto in the batting order, suspended tonight. 1 game suspension. He will be back in there tomorrow, you would think. And Zach Davies just trying to continue this process, learning how to manage a big league lineup, learning how to be a big leaguer at age 22, and he's shown real signs of progress and hope, and I think the Brewers are excited to roll him out there once again.
Yeah, had a tough time of commanding his pitches his last time out against the Pirates.
A fly ball to right will get his night started. Bourgeois to Braun, and out number 1.
Yeah, check out the Menards Brewers defense tonight. You got Davis, Santana, and Braun in the outfield. Perez at third. Segura and Herrera up the middle. Jason Rogers gets another start at first base with the left-hander starting for Cincinnati, and Martin Maldonado behind home plate. Santana back in the starting lineup. He did not start in yesterday's game.
4-man umpiring crew in place. You got Joe West calling the balls and strikes. Rob Drake, Clint Fagan, and DJ Rayburn, the base umpires. Easy to spot Martin Maldonado back there behind the plate.
Yeah. You can shut off half the lights over there on third baseline.
Wow.
You won't lose him in the dark.
And the Bananas are jealous.
Man.
Are we all a go for the yellow chest protector, or are we not quite there yet?
A bit much, I think.
And there's a changeup, and it's lined into left field, a base hit. Schumacher with a single.
I think it's going to be a hot item in the fan store, the cheese chest protector.
Oh, good call. Look at you with your marketing prowess. I could certainly see that happening.
Would you buy one?
Oh, for sure. You could even have one, a miniature one that's made out of real cheese. You set it up, have the whole catcher's equipment. Make it the same size as a bobblehead. You could, have like a bobblehead cheese display. Oh man, this is going to be great.
It's going to be a big hit.
Tell you what, so inspired tonight. Here's Brandon Phillips.
Charlie O'Brien used to have catching gear like that. Even the shin guards were all yellow. But I don't think it was as bright a yellow as Martin's got going. That's almost a fluorescent yellow.
It's moving into the glow-in-the-dark variety of yellow there. Not your muted yellow. Runner at first for Phillips. And there's a strike.
That's what he needs to do. He wasn't able to do that real well against the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Really couldn't find the location. Not only did he give up a bunch of hits, but he walked 5 guys. And, the start before that against the Marlins did not walk a hitter in a win. 7 innings, 1 run. It's going to have inconsistency with a young pitcher out there. That's expected.
Does not have the overpowering fastball. Davies, who looks like he's 15 years old, but he's actually 22. And I think that's all part of the game for Davies. He's always been the underdog throughout his career, and he has made his way to the big leagues at a very young age. He signed out of high school, playing high school ball in the Phoenix area. Gilbert, he had a full scholarship to Arizona State, and even though he was a late draft pick, he was a 26th rounder, but I think most scouts felt like he was going to Arizona State. And he ended up signing for much more money than a 26th rounder would normally get. The Orioles drafted and signed him, and Baltimore liked him a lot. He moved up through their system, and they needed a bat when they were in contention at the trade deadline, and they got Gerardo Parra for Zach Davies.
It didn't work out for the Orioles, did it? They didn't get to the postseason. Parra's going to be a free agent, so the Brewers able to pick up a young pitcher. And we'll see how Zach navigates his way through the month of September here. He's got a few starts left.
Davies had been in AAA Norfolk to start the year, had good numbers there, and then was in AAA with Colorado Springs in the Brewer system briefly before he got called up. And that's the kind of pitch that Davies would like to get.
Yeah, that one just off the corner, and Brandon Phillips didn't even bite. Didn't even check his swing on it. That's the difference between the big leagues and the minor leagues for the most part. Hitters know their strike zone. You're not going to get too many swings out of the zone.
Full count, runner at first, and the runner goes, and the pitch is outside, ball 4. And an area of concern early as a major leaguer for Zach Davies is his command, and it's not that he's missing badly, but he's nibbling a lot, and he's missing on the wrong side of that nibble.
No, that's what he has to do, though. He tops out at about 90. I mean, if he gets too much to the white of the plate, he gets hit. So he's either on the corners or he's off the edges. That's why he walked 5 his last time out.
So he'll have to deal with Todd Frazier now. Putting together a very good season. Frazier, the all-star starter at third base this year for the National League. 34 home runs, had 27 of those in the first half. He won the home run derby this year. Thrilling home run derby, maybe the best home run derby ever. Line shot, base hit. Schumacher froze for a moment. Now he's going to try to score, and the throw is short hop, no throw to the plate, and a run comes in. So right away the Reds take the lead.
The Brewers fell behind very quickly in last night's ball game against St. Louis. Cardinals with a 2 spot in the first. And off and running here with 1 out. Todd Frazier with an RBI base hit. And even though Schumacher got a late break, able to score without a play.
They saw the frustration in Maldonado. He thought the Brewers had a play right here.
See the wide turn by Schumacher. It took him a while to get there. That's why Maldonado felt as though they had a play.
So a run is in, 2 on, 1 away, and here's Jay Bruce. Fouls 1 away. Reds are a free swinging bunch for the most part, especially without Votto in the lineup, who is having a great year. That's a big bat that Davies does not have to deal with tonight. He'll be back in there tomorrow. Got his suspension reduced from 2 games to 1 game after an appeal. Reds have been bitten by the injury bug this year. They lost their starting shortstop and their starting catcher this season. Zach Cozart, the shortstop, and Devin Mesoraco, the all-star catcher from a year ago. Ground ball to second, and that one's booted. Herrera goes to first to get the out. Well, the Brewers have just been dreadful defensively the last couple of games. Davies should be out of the inning. Instead, there's no error there because Herrera does get it out.
Yeah, right off the heel of the glove. He does get Bruce at first, but inning should be over. It should have been a double play. And not very good defense last night. And starting out with giving the Reds an extra out here in the first.
Brewers lost to the Cardinals last night. They committed 3 errors and had a couple of misplays as well. And Herrera had one of those errors. He's got another one tonight. So it's second and third. The inning continues. Here is Eugenio Suarez. Suarez has held his own. Playing shortstop for Zach Cozart, has 11 homers. He's hitting .284. Big shoes to fill. Cozart, one of the great defenders in the game.
Suarez having a nice year at the plate. Hitting over .280, 11 homers. Shortstop with power.
1 ball, 1 strike. And fouled away. 1-2 the count. No Joey Votto, no Billy Hamilton. Hamilton's out with a shoulder injury. He's not even with the team. And of course Marlon Byrd was traded. Reds didn't make a whole lot of moves. The one chip that we thought might be traded would be a Aroldis Chapman. They could have gotten an entire minor league system in return, I think. Davies strikes out Suarez, who fires his bat away. The inning is over, but the Reds score first tonight. Maybe her first game. Oh, she looked away at the last moment. Fireworks distracted her. Got to do it again. Look up here. Craig Counsell, first year as Brewers manager, taking over for Ron Renneke. He is a frustrated manager right now. The Brewers not playing well, dropping 6 straight games. Potawatomi batting order looks like this tonight for Counsell. Segura, Perez, and Braun at the top. Davis, Rogers, and Santana go in the middle, and Counsell has Herrera, Maldonado, and Davies rounding out the starting 9 that will face hard-throwing left-hander Brandon Finnegan, who burst onto the national scene in the postseason last year for the Kansas City Royals, and Rock, they traded him to the Reds in the Johnny Cueto deal.
Yeah, he got called up on September 8th. He was 3-0 in 14 relief appearances with the Royals. Moved over to Louisville in AAA with the Reds. 0-3 as a starter. Made 8 starts down in the minor leagues. He's only gone 5 innings 1 time in those starts down in the minor leagues. So not sure what to expect as far as eating up innings for Finnegan tonight.
Finnegan making his first career major league start. Had an ERA over 6 in AAA after that trade. That was a trade on July 26th. Reds got a couple of pitchers in that deal. Matter of fact, they got Lamb, who will work on Monday. Reds are starting a number of rookies. Finnegan is their 9th, which is a franchise record, and that's significant because the Reds were the original professional baseball team. Brian Price, the manager, former pitching coach.
Yeah, it's amazing to look at the Reds game notes. You know, all the stuff that they talk about with the Reds starting rotation. This is the 94th start by a rookie for the Reds tonight. 94. Amazing.
You see John Lamb came with Finnegan in that deal for Cueto. 3 balls and a strike. Gene Segura back in the leadoff spot, hitting .270. Hit his 5th home run of the season last night. That was a 9th inning 3-run home run for Segura that made it a 3-run game. That's hit sharply to short. Suarez with a low throw, dug out over there by Duvall. Out number 1.
Man, defense for the Reds brought to you by Menards. Defense has been very good for the Reds this year. 77 errors, 5th fewest in the National League. Got Schumacher, Bourgeois, and Jay Bruce. Jay Bruce in right field has 10 assists. That's second best in the National League. Frazier, Suarez, and Brandon Phillips, the Gold Glover, at second base. Adam Duvall at first base, and Tucker Barnhart, very good throwing catcher behind home plate.
There's a multiple All-Star and Gold Glove Award winner Brandon Phillips. Always fun to watch him play. Hernan Perez on the first pitch gets jammed, and 2 quick outs for Finnegan. I would imagine pitch counts, pitch limits will be in place. I can't imagine they'd let him go more than 100 or thereabouts here tonight. He has been starting in the Reds organization. Royals tried to do the same. Still got that glove with the Kansas City blue laces on that.
The lucky glove.
That's the gamer. And he's ready to go, and Ryan Braun steps in. 2 outs with Braun at the plate.
Finnegan basically a 3-pitch pitcher. You know, fastball, he'll top out at about 95. And cruising speed about 93. Change up and slider.
On the ground to second base. Phillips will eat it up, and that'll be the side. 1-2-3 inning on 8 pitches for Brandon Finnegan in his first major league start. Well, let's take you back last week, September 9th, as a matter of fact. Joey Votto had, after a few at-bats, not getting the calls that he thought were the right calls, ultimately gets ejected, and then Votto snapped. Said he is remorseful for contact with the umpire, but it earned him a 2-game suspension. He appealed that suspension, and they reduced it to a game. So no Votto in the lineup tonight.
Remorseful?
That's what he said. That was his quote.
Okay, a little late for that, isn't it?
And he
bumped the umpire. He, Bill Wilkie said he spit on him. Gotta wonder.
So Votto will serve that suspension tonight.
And that wasn't even a strike 3 call. That was a strike 2 call.
That was
wasn't
in the middle of the count. There have been a few at bats prior to that where he took exception to the strike zone. Davies back at it, facing Adam Duvall, the man replacing Votto tonight. Probably didn't figure there were many innings and at bats as a first baseman the rest of the year. And Votto's having a great year, huge year. Duvall just 3 for 18, but his 3 hits are homers.
That big dude. They picked that short hop from Suarez pretty nicely. Looked pretty good over at first base. It's always much easier to get through this Reds lineup. Not that it's easy, but it's not as difficult with Votto out. But the Brewers were saying that when Tommy Pham was in the lineup for a couple of nights.
That's it.
With the Cardinals. Remember what kind of series he had.
Two pitch to Duvall. He does not chase. Duvall making his 7th start. The other 6 starts have been as an outfielder in left field. Reds traded not just Cueto on the pitching side of things, but Mike Leake as well. And Duvall was one of the players who came back in that deal for Mike Leake from the San Francisco Giants. That was a trade deadline deal. Three-two pitch on the ground right to Perez. And there is out number 1.
Yeah, that good 2-seam fastball for Zach Davies. When he just lets it go, doesn't try and overthrow. He's got good downward movement on it. Gets a lot of ground ball outs like he did against the Marlins. That pitch flattened out considerably last time out against Pittsburgh.
Well, here's Tucker Barnhart, switch hitting catcher for the Reds. Reds have lost a couple of catchers this year. Mesoraco out for the season after hip surgery. That was early. He was their starter, an all-star performer last season, one of the better catchers in the game. And then Brian Pena, that same game Votto got ejected, he injured his hamstring. So Pena not available for Brian Price either. Out with a sore hamstring. He's hoping to return maybe even this weekend. There's a little liner right to Perez. 2 up, 2 down for Davies.
Hey, head out to the ballpark on Sunday afternoon for the series finale. The division rivals square off at 1 o'clock, and all fans in attendance get a one-of-a-kind Scooter Jeanette Garden Gnome, courtesy of Waterstone Bank. For tickets, go to Brewers.com today.
The highly anticipated Scooter Gnome Day at Miller Park. A collector's item for sure. The pitcher, Brandon Finnegan. I bet he's looking forward to swinging the bat a little bit. He's been in the American League. He's been in the bullpen. Getting his first plate appearance of his major league career. Strike two.
Got to have that pitch. Good pitch right on the corner at the knees.
A lot of times it's how you catch those behind the plate. Maldonado caught it well. Ground ball up the middle. Herrera will scoop it up, and that'll be the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Zach Davies. 1-0 Reds. The Brewers are coming up. Career of Brandon Finnegan will end up, but he's done something that nobody has ever done, and that's pitch in the College World Series and the Major League Baseball World Series in the same season. He was pitching for TCU, a Horned Frog, in the College World Series in June of 2014 last season, and then he's a first-round draft pick. He makes it to the big leagues, 7 regular season appearances, and then pitches well in the Division Series round, and then ends up pitching in the World Series. What a feat. Never been done before, and here he is already with a new team in his second season as a professional. Chris Davis sending that one deep into left center, and it's gone. A home run. Chris Davis ties it up. Home run number 22.
It's amazing to watch this young man swing the bat. Ever since he's had an opportunity to play every day. Another home run. High towering blast. Out over the plate. Fastball pretty straight. And Chris Davis with a nice easy swing. Ball just carries on out of here. Number 22. Ties it up.
An impressive run of homers going for Chris Davis. It goes back to August 6th. So he enters play on August 6th with 7 homers. He had been hurt. He missed some time with a meniscus tear, had surgery on that knee, missed about a month, a slow start offensively, and now he's sitting here with 22 homers. He's homering about every 9 at-bats, which is remarkable.
And only 3 behind Ryan Braun for the team lead. Who would have thought?
And Ryan Braun has 499 at-bats. Make it 500 now after today. Chris Davis is only 3 behind him with 338 at-bats.
It's an incredible home run to at-bat ratio.
Now, since August 6th, it's the best in the big leagues. Even better than headliners like Yoenis Cespedes and Big Papi David Ortiz. Jason Rogers, he hits one sharply left center, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Rogers on his way to second with a double.
And he just continues to swing the bat well. Just a nice easy stroke. Not the home run stroke of a Chris Davis, but always seems to be able to put the bat on the baseball. Slider that time from Finnegan that stayed up in the middle part of the plate. And hits it hard enough to find the gap. And by the time Bourgeois picks it up, Rogers in with a stand-up double.
A home run followed by a 2-bagger, and the Brewers in business here in the second inning. Davis tied it up. Now Finnegan will face Domingo Santana. First ball swinging. Nice play, Finnegan. Good stop. Santana's out. First out of the second.
Finnegan in pretty good position to field his position, if you will. And right back at him. His shoulders are square. Looks the runner back and gets the out. Santana, the only Brewer in the starting lineup that's ever faced Finnegan before. Did that with the Astros when Finnegan was with Kansas City.
Here's Elian Herrera. There's a strike from Finnegan. Elian, the switch hitter, gets the call tonight at second base, playing a little second, a little third base. He's had a couple of miscues the last 2 games. And an error earlier, wasn't an error, but it was a misplay at second base. No harm done in that inning. Slow roller. Frazier coming in. And there are 2 outs now, but Rogers advancing to third base. And here's Martin Maldonado. Now keeping our eye on a few games in the big leagues tonight. There is a final in. The Cardinals and the Cubs played earlier today, Friday afternoon at Wrigley, and the Cubs won 8-3.
A lot going on in that game. Wasn't it beanballs all over the place?
Beanballs, ejections. Mike Matheny got tossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it reminds me of, and just because Joe Madden is involved again, it reminds me of the Rays when they finally were able to get over the Boston Red Sox hurdle. And Madden had this no back down approach, which is a good approach. A little pop up to Phillips to end the inning. However, Chris Davis matching a career best. 22 home runs now, and Davis ties it up at 1 apiece.
and the Reds are now even at 1 as we head to the third. And the Brewers today feeling very fortunate and very thankful to see Jimmy Nelson tweeting things like this. Let's go, boys. See y'all soon. Watching the game from the hospital. Of course, a very scary scene last night when Nelson left the game after being hit in the head by a line drive. But the reports today on Jimmy Nelson, he's in great spirits, good condition. The CT scan showed a contusion, but was not diagnosed with a concussion. And athletic trainer Dan Wright shared with us that Nelson was remarkably responsive throughout the whole process from the point of impact to being taken to the hospital last night for the evaluation. He did spend the night there overnight. We'll be in there tonight as well. And the next 40 hours are big for Jimmy, but he's feeling good. Craig Counsell said they are anticipating he'll come back and pitch. So, Jimmy, we wish you the best, and we'll see you here in a few days.
No doubt, and we echo those sentiments. I think he had a lot more characters to, you know, a little attaboy for you and me and Sophia. It's a ground ball to second base. Herrera makes a play for out number 1.
That's the first thing on his mind, you and me, I'm sure.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
That's a tough young man right there, Jimmy Nelson.
When he went down, all the worst thoughts come to mind. And the fact that he got to his knees so fast, and then he actually, I'm anxious to talk to him about it, but he looked to me like he was trying to talk his way into the game to remain in the game.
Yeah, well, at the moment he was feeling pretty good, but you know, you gotta shut that down, get all the testing done, and make sure that there's not going to be any long-lasting effects of that. Just be glad he's feeling good right now. It could have been a lot worse.
Scheduled to pitch again on Tuesday. Might see him there. Skip Schumacher with 1 out. He had a base hit last time up, and he's a strikeout victim his next time up. There's that changeup by Zach Davies. It's a beauty.
He's got a good one working. He's got good location on his fastball, much better than he had last time out. And you see that changeup grip, spreads the fingers apart. You can see the baseball go down and away from Schumacher. Just waves at it. Good pitch, good arm action. Looks like a fastball to the hitter. Just never gets there.
So 2 men are out, 2 up and 2 down, and Brandon Phillips taking a little extra time getting in the box. Look at the stare down by Joe West. Got his hands on his hips. And a strike to start the count.
Joe's all business.
He is ready to move.
He doesn't mess around. Let's go. Get going.
Had that sideways look with his hand on his hips. Like, are you kidding me? It's the same kind of look you get when you're playing slow golf. And the group behind you, they're all standing back there staring at you.
I'm usually the guy standing back there as they play slow in front of me. When I used to play golf.
You just skip a hole. No balls, 2 strikes. And a fastball just missed. Slingshot fastball from Davies. Missed with a curve. 2-2 now. Now we're keeping track of the games around the big leagues that will have postseason implications. Got the Subway Series going on tonight. The Mets and the Yankees. That's a good one. Mets are in a great position to seal up the division. Mets coming into play tonight. In the National League East, they have a lead over the Nationals of 8 games. And they've won 8 of 10. The Yankees, meanwhile, they are 3.5 back of the Blue Jays for the division. But they are the wild card number 1 team. Ahead of the Houston Astros. Rangers have overtaken the Astros. Texas swept Houston. And that lead in that division, 2.5 games. The Rangers are hosting the Mariners. Astros are hosting Oakland tonight. Phillips grounds to Segura. And a nice inning for Davies. 1, 2, 3. He has retired 8 straight since that RBI single by Frazier. Grown men in baseball uniforms every night. Just not those guys, typically. They wear it well. It is now time for you to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Those guys have a shot tonight. Use hashtag WisDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself at an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. We are tied at 1. And here is Zach Davies, the Brewers pitcher, leading off against the hard-throwing Brandon Finnegan. Davies has a hit. Got his first major league hit out of the way. Just his 4th big league start.
Tonight's alumni night. David Nelson has a bunch of Brewers alumni in a suite here at the ballpark. A couple of them came in before the game. Steve Woodard, Willie Mueller. Said hello. Actually, they were getting on me about a lot of things, but good to see him anyway. They invited me down to the suite, but I said I'm kind of busy. That's not them.
Oh, these guys didn't play for the Brewers? They're not part of the alumni?
That's not them. No, that's not them.
That's a good group. Good fantasy camp potential.
Yeah.
Got the handlebar mustaches going. Regular mustaches. You got to have facial hair to be in that group.
And a beer.
The sunglasses are a nice touch. Davies. Right to Phillips for out number 1. Fantasy camp is fast approaching, by the way. We'll have to sign those guys up. I think those guys would bring a lot of entertainment to the group. It is January 31st through February 7th. Brewers.com/fantasy camp. Includes round trip airfare to and from. And you get the great weather in Phoenix. You participate on all the real life spring training facilities the Brewers have at Maryvale Baseball Park.
Weather's always great the first week in February. Yep, we're filling up too. We're filling up. We got about 10 spots left. That's it.
And then the deadline, right? You just cut it off.
Then cut it off. Don't want too many. Want it nice and cozy for everybody. Get to know everybody. Yep. The kid coming to fantasy camp this year. Euchre's going to stop by. Gorman, Gantner, Augie.
One ball, one strike on Segura, who takes a strike inside corner. And those are all just the B-list characters. Bill Schroeder is the reason you go. Best fantasy camp director in the history of the game.
Best fantasy camp director you've ever seen.
Fantasy camp director Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Is where you're headed.
One of the best parts of camp is happy hour. We do Q&A with the coaches, some trivia. We get a few beers and the coaches. They'll tell you some real stories.
Yes, they will. And what you hear at fantasy camp stays at fantasy camp, by the way.
That's a must.
Here's the 1-2, and Segura, jam shot out to second base. Phillips busy this inning. 2 up, 2 down for Finnegan. Reds got a run in the first on an RBI from Todd Frazier. Chris Davis tied it in the second. This is going to be a series where every starting pitcher for both teams will be a rookie. 3-game series, 6 rookie starting pitchers. First time that has happened. Well, I guess it hasn't happened yet, but if it happens the way it's supposed to, it'll be the first time since 1913. The Washington Senators and the Boston Red Sox. Tris Speaker's Boston Red Sox and Walter Johnson's Washington Senators.
Isn't that great? Names like that.
There's Taylor Youngman. He'll have tomorrow's game, and then Ariel Pena will pitch on Sunday. Reds are going to have Finnegan, Josh Smith, and Anthony DeSclafani. All rookies.
I was pouring through the Cincinnati game notes, and this is the 49th straight start for the Reds by a rookie. Longest in Major League history. Second longest, 1902. 41 straight by the Cardinals.
Wow.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff you're talking about. I mean, you're talking about some historic numbers for the Reds as far as their pitching staff.
Yeah, going way, way back. Turn of the century baseball. It was interesting. Rock and I grew up doing this. I don't know if you did, but I grew up, you know, remember the baseball encyclopedia?
Oh, yeah.
And so the great thing about the baseball encyclopedia, before you could go online and look up these players, it was a giant book. And you'd start on one player, and that would take you to another player, and then you'd say, well, what team was he on, and did they play together? And you'd spend 2-3 hours in that book, and
right.
You'd find all these players and stories, and that's what we did today. Perez, that's hit hard, but backhanded by Suarez, and that will retire the side. All tied at 1. Couple of rookies going at it tonight in Milwaukee. Still fun. All tied at 1 here at Miller Park. We head to the 4th inning. And a reminder, public service reminder here, that Fox Sports Wisconsin is proud to partner with Girls on the Run Greater Milwaukee. It's a program to help empower girls to be healthy and confident. Join us for Girls on the Run Fall 5K on Sunday, November 15th. That's at Bayshore Town Center in Glendale. To register, go to foxsportswisconsin.com and click on the upcoming events tab. Todd Frazier leads off. Sinking fastball in there for strike 1. Frazier driving in a run in the first inning. Line drive to left, scored Skip Schumacher from second base. And that's the last base runner the Reds have had. Davies has retired 8 straight, has 2 strikeouts. He's issued 1 walk. And a wave and a miss. Boy, that was a good pitch. Davies had him way out in front. A fastball by him.
Yeah.
Outside corner heat from Davies, and his 3rd strikeout.
That's just good pitching right there. Off speed, good pitch, got him to swing and miss. And then went with the fastball at only 90 miles an hour. So it's all about, mixing and matching and keeping the ball away from the middle of the plate, right on the corner. And Todd Frazier swings right through it. Good game calling by Maldonado. Real soft. Then gives him the fastball in the corner.
Jay Bruce into left center field, hit well, and that one is gone. A homer for Jay Bruce, his 22nd of the year, and the Reds take the lead. Bruce came up there ready to swing, and an opposite field home run for him.
He's always had good success against Milwaukee. Check out the pitch. It's on the corner but up. And Brewers very strong. Takes it into the Brewers bullpen. And that was a no-doubter out there to left center.
Snaps a string of 9 in a row. Retired by Davies. Jay Bruce, 22 homers, 80 runs batted in now. That was another guy that I was a little surprised wasn't traded at the deadline. I think there were a lot of teams interested, but the Reds wanted to keep him, keep Votto and Bruce and Phillips, their core together.
Got to figure out a way to get some pitching, but you know the offense has been very inconsistent even with those guys in the lineup this year. Haven't scored a lot of runs even in that ballpark that they play in.
There's a good changeup, a wave and a miss. Suarez way out in front of it. Two balls, two strikes, one man out in the fourth. And he muscles one right field line. That's fair. Braun plays it off the wall. On his way to second with a double is Eugenio Suarez. It was a jam shot, but had the right swing to keep it between the lines.
And tried to pull the hands in as best he could. Really couldn't get it there because the ball was, you know, in on him. But he slices it down the line, just fair down the right field line, and you know, home run double now for Cincinnati. They're in business again with one out, just inside that right field line.
So here is Adam Duvall, who grounded out his first time up. Man, he's swinging at the first pitch. It's off the glove of Perez, and this is going to bring in a run for the Reds. On his way to second with a double is Duvall. It's 3-1 Cincinnati. Adam Duvall with an RBI double.
Probably would have been a double anyway, even had Perez not got a glove on it. Would have gone down in the corner. So back-to-back doubles, another run in, 3-1 Cincinnati. Once again, a fastball up. This ball's ticketed for the corner down in left field. And Perez gets a glove on it, slows it down. And it's a double anyway. After having very good location on this fastball, all of a sudden now Davies getting pitches up in the strike zone. Second time through has been a little bit better for the Reds, which is what you would expect. Guys haven't seen him a whole lot. He's starting to get some better swings.
Three straight hits, all for extra bases. Here is Tucker Barnhart, 8th place hitter in the Cincinnati batting order. And did he go? They will ask. He did not. Able to check a swing. Davies made his major league debut on September 2nd. It was a no decision against the Pirates. He went 4 1/3 in that game here at Miller Park. And then his next start was his win. That was his first major league win. 7 innings, just 1 run against the Marlins. Faced the Pirates again on the 12th of September. That was his last start, and gave up 6 earned runs in 3 2/3.
Yeah, the killer for him was the 5 walks.
After not walking anybody in his start and his win against the Marlins. 3 balls and a strike. Runner at second with 1 out, and that one misses outside. Walked the 8th place hitter. Now the pitcher is coming up with 1 out.
Hey, that brings us to tonight's hammer in the game winner, Fat Sammy's in Appleton. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to an April or May 2016 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Finnegan up there to bunt. Pushes it foul. Doesn't have a whole lot of experience doing this. Brandon Finnegan hasn't been in the pro game that long, just a little over a year. He was in college just last season. He was the first of that 14 class, that draft class, to make it to the big leagues. 7 appearances with the Royals last year before he went into the postseason for them. Made their postseason roster. Perez will field it. Little bit of indecision there between Maldonado and Perez. But they get the out. It's a sacrifice. It'll be the 2nd out. And back to the top of the order we go.
Boy, Perez right on top of Finnegan as he laid that baseball down, and that's about as close to home plate you'll see a third baseman field a bunt as you'll ever see. Able to make the play 5-4 on the put out. Check it out. Here he comes charging. That ball barely on the grass. And able to make the play. Let's check him out on the first base side of home plate.
So 2 away, 2nd and 3rd. Bourgeois, the former Brewer, takes a ball down and away. Louisiana native Jason Bourgeois bounced around a little bit. He's been able to keep himself in the big leagues. And a strike. 2-1. Great contrast in these two pitchers tonight. They're connected by their age at 22, but very different styles, very different paths to the big leagues.
Well, that's a tough pitch right there. He needs that, man. Zach Davies, if anybody on the Brewers needs that pitch, it's him. Yep, it's a strike. Come on, Joe.
Home plate umpires Joe West. 3-1, and a ground ball right to Herrera, and that will retire the side. But the Reds get a pair. They get a home run from Jay Bruce, and then an RBI double by Duvall. It's 3-1 Cincinnati. rain outside. Storms are brewing out there. That's all right. Beautiful in here. Good crowd on hand on a Friday night. Brewers fans, you never cease to amaze.
Yep, isn't it something?
Lows never stop improving. Ryan Braun, let's mark it at August 12th, all right? And Ryan Braun has the 3rd highest batting average in the major leagues, behind Lindor, the very talented rookie shortstop of the Indians, and Joey Votto of the Reds.
Look at this crowd. Are you kidding me? Amazing.
Great crowd, and on a rainy night, this is a great spot to be, right?
So fortunate, this organization. Best fans in baseball. I know everybody says that, but when you consider what's been going on this year and you see a crowd like this, hats off to them.
Just enjoying the experience of a Major League Baseball game. Sometimes that's enough. Braun takes a strike.
What better place to be when it's raining, right?
Exactly. I'm guessing there's a good walk-up crowd tonight, right?
Yeah. Didn't used to be that way, right? I mean, a lot of ballparks starts raining, you don't get anybody here, but great place to be inside watching baseball when it's raining outside.
Swinging a foul. Braun late on that fastball. 0-2 the count.
Saw that firsthand on last road trip, didn't we?
Yeah, leaving the contending Pirates having a tough time drawing crowds in the poor weather.
Pirates, Cincinnati, rain, very light crowds. Not here, though.
Always great energy at Miller Park. Players talk about it all the time. Finnegan deals an 0-2 and Braun fouls it away.
And you might even get a baseball.
He's got one. Take that to school, man. Fastball missed inside. Finnegan thought he had him rung up.
Yeah, tight zone out there for Joe West tonight.
Country Joe West, his nickname.
That a little low.
1-2 pitch, and Braun is late again. Finnegan bringing the heat. One of the big questions with Finnegan as a starter, with that max effort delivery. He gives everything he has every pitch. Has good velocity. Can he maintain it through a long game or through multiple innings? He's going to be a guy that can give you starters innings. That's the big question. The Royals weren't sure. The Reds are going to take a shot and let him start and see if they can get him to the point where he can enter their rotation regularly next season.
It's a matter of building up that pitch count. Highest pitch count he had down in the minors as a starter was 88 pitches. There's a changeup.
It was 0-2. Now it's 3-2. And Braun takes ball 4.
Nice.
Waited him out. Ryan Braun is aboard. And with the Brewers down 2 runs, they'll bring the tying run to the plate here in the 4th. Chris Davis coming up. Our Carsoup.com trivia question tonight. Who is the first pitcher in MLB history to have 4 consecutive seasons of at least 30 saves and 100 strikeouts? First pitcher in MLB history. He's got 4 in a row. I know a good candidate sitting down in that Reds bullpen.
Is he even down there yet?
Yeah, maybe he's in the clubhouse still. It's not really Chapman time yet. Davis, a high pop. Oh, it hit the rail. And that is a dead ball. Dead ball.
Yep. If it hits those rails in foul territory, it's a dead ball. Doesn't matter where it ends up. Just a strike for Chris Davis.
Brian Price wants an explanation of the rules here.
If it hits the rail in fair territory, it's a live ball. I'll tell you what, we don't see too many of those going up on the rail. That was a moonshot right up the chute.
That's what we call a big league pop-up.
That's a heck of a play where they're making that catch off the rail. And check out this catch by Todd Frazier. Oh, no, the pitcher.
Finnegan, yeah.
Pitcher made the catch. That's
well,
a great effort.
Frazier gives you a great shot of where he was expecting the ball to come down. That's why.
Yeah, just the foul ball.
The foul call was immediate, and third base umpire DJ Rayburn.
That's great. That best play of the night.
It's a highlight. It doesn't count, but it's still a highlight.
Still a great play.
That's where it hit way up there. That is, I don't recall any hitting that in my time.
I don't remember one.
9 years here. And this ballpark's been open since 2001.
There must have been a couple, but I don't remember them.
That's fortunate for Chris Davis. That bat continues. See if he can tie this thing up.
Yeah, because if that baseball, as Braun takes second base, the baseball didn't touch that wire up there, it would have been an out. So a free hack for Chris Davis.
And you know what's going to happen tomorrow. Every Brewers coach and Reds coach are going to take a fungo and see if they can hit one up there. And they won't be able to. And then they're going to have to go see the athletic trainers. It's a swing and a miss. Davis in a 1-2 count.
When the park first opened, we saw that a lot. You know, coaches trying to hit the roof or any part of the roof up there. Mike Guerrero knows I can't hit it up there. Eddie, he's kind of hobbled right now. If he was healthy, he would be able to do it.
Ball and 2 strikes. And skips in. 2-2 on Davis. Well, back in the second inning, leading off the inning, Chris Davis does what he has done best since August 6th. That's hit the long ball. Powerball home run number 22 for Davis. Now 56 runs batted in.
Fastball outer half. Moonshot.
Of Davis's 22 homers, 8 are on the first pitch. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes. Barnhart slapped the tag on him to secure it. Out number 1 for Finnegan, so he retires him anyway.
He got him on an off-speed pitch. I think a slider that time, and then he's going to throw that slider to both right-handers and left-handers. There are no left-handers in the Brewers starting lineup tonight. And there are a ton of them on the bench.
Braun at second. A walk and a wild pitch. Here's Jason Rogers. Brewers down 3-1 here in the fourth. Reds are in the middle leg of their road trip. They started in San Francisco. They had yesterday off, but they played a night game in San Francisco on Wednesday night. Arrived here to Milwaukee about 6 in the morning. Had all day yesterday to sleep it off, and now the middle leg of their road trip here in Milwaukee. Then they'll head to St. Louis after this one. The Brewers are going to see the Cardinals on the next road trip as well. Brewers start in Chicago for 3 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then a 4-gamer in St. Louis, and then the Brew Crew going out to San Diego for 3. There are only 5 home games left after tonight as Rogers draws the walk Tying run is aboard. A couple of walks in this inning by Finnegan, and Barnhart is out to have a word with him.
Yeah, Finnegan might be tiring a little bit. You know, just can't command the strike zone. Even the pitch that struck Davis out was out of the zone. As the bullpen's starting to move around a little bit. 2 walks in the inning, the first 2 walks of the game for Finnegan.
And that'll bring Jeff Pico out, the Cincinnati pitching coach.
Make that first start in the big leagues. You got some adrenaline going, and sometimes that wears off as the game goes on. And mentioned, you know, pitch count got up to 88 pitches in the minor leagues, sitting at 52.
Well, not a whole lot of experience to draw on for Finnegan. He was the 17th overall pick in the 14 draft. The first of that group to make it to the major leagues. That draft also included Kyle Schwarber of the Cubs, Michael Conforto, who's in the big leagues now with the Mets, been a big part of their success. Trey Turner was in that draft, who was drafted by the Padres, just traded to the Nationals. We saw him in D.C. recently. That year the Brewers had the 12th pick, and they selected Cody Medeiros out of NC State. Big swing and a miss by Santana.
That swing get a little bit long early when he came up. And nice short stroke, a lot of power. That's normally a pitch when he first came up that he was going to drive somewhere. Fastball, not a lot on it, about 93. Swing get a little bit long and loopy right now for Santana.
One ball, 2 strikes on Domingo. Had the day off yesterday. He's back in there tonight. The Brewers want to give him a lot of playing time, let him try to settle in. There's always adjustments that need to be made, and you're not hoping players go through tough times, but
it's expected.
You want to see how they pull out of it.
And not many can come up here right away and dominate and continue to dominate. Book is out on you. Starting to pitch him a little bit differently.
Santana's always been a guy that has a lot of strikeouts all through his minor league career. But he hits a ton of homers. He's actually hit for a very high batting average this season, whatever level he's been in. He's hitting .253 here in the big leagues. .300 hitter in the minor leagues this season between the Astros organization and the Brewers system. And that one misses outside.
Yeah, talked to Darnell Coles about Santana. I'll tell you, he's got a very regimented pregame workout, hitting off the tee and in the cage. He's in the video room quite a bit. Says that's a little bit unusual for such a young guy.
Now, Ryan Braun was raving about Santana yesterday. Had a chance to visit with Braun and talking about the hope that the Brewers have in the organization. All these young players coming up. Hard to believe Ryan Braun is the elder statesman, but he's in that mentor role right now, and he's a great thinker anyway, and he likes what he sees. It's given this organization a lot of life, made some good trades, and a lot of talent coming. 2-2 pitch. Braun takes off. Santana strikes out. It's the second out of the inning. Another K for Finnegan. Braun ends up at third with a stolen base.
Yeah, pitch out of the strike zone. Pitch up around the letters, and Santana just can't lay off of it. A little bit too aggressive right now, and Ryan Braun got a great jump. He gets a stolen base at third base. You see that pitch up and away, and no chance for Barnhart to make a play on Braun.
Yeah, it looked like Barnhart, if he was going to make a play, he was going to throw to second.
Yeah, that's why if you don't get a great jump, and Rogers doesn't run all that well anyway, he just stays put. Good idea.
Stolen base number 24 for Braun to go along with his 25 homers. First and third for Herrera with 2 away. Elian, a switch hitter. Better from the left side, more power. Hits for a higher average as a lefty.
Yeah, but the hits are starting to come from the right side too. Playing a lot, playing every day at second or third. And
yeah, when lefties are on the mound, Herrera's at second base. He's in a platoon with Jeanette. He's 2 players in 1. He's a right-handed hitting second baseman when left-handers start for the opposition. He's a left-handed hitting third baseman when right-handers are on the mound. Those are the numbers. Now think about the 3 home runs versus lefties. That's interesting because it's about a third of the at-bats as he has left-handed. So say he's got more power.
Yeah.
Talking about doubles and homers and slugging percentage. Most of it comes from the left side, and that's where he mostly hits.
hit a grand slam from the left side this year.
He's trying to drive in a run, maybe 2, maybe 3. Brewers are down 3-1. Couple of Ks in this inning for Finnegan, his first 2 strikeouts of the game. And he's got Herrera in a hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wants one upstairs. Barnhart setting up high, and Finnegan put it right where he wanted it. Herrera strikes out to end the inning. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Finnegan. Works around 2 walks. Earlier today at Wrigley Field, Dan Herron hit Matt Holliday in the helmet. He would be all right, would go to first base, but then the Cardinals retaliate. Matt Belisle throws behind Anthony Rizzo, and there had already been warnings issued, so the player, the pitcher, and the manager ejected. So Matheny and Belisle were thrown out. The Cubs won that game. Chicago staying alive in that division picture. It's a long shot, but right now the Cubs are 6 back of St. Louis. Pittsburgh is between them, and the Pirates are going to have to deal with Zach Greinke and the Dodgers tonight in Los Angeles. That'll be a little late night West Coast baseball to pay attention to tonight. So that's where the wild card picture sits. If the Pirates lose tonight to the Dodgers, the Cubs are just one game back. Now you're only talking about home field advantage for the wild card playoff game, and 4 of the 6 road teams have won that particular game. But for me, Rock, getting that game at Wrigley Field in this particular year, that means something.
No kidding. Yep.
That means a lot. That's a tough place to play.
And the Cubs trying to make a statement to the St. Louis Cardinals. I think trying to tell them that we're here. We're not going to be intimidated. And we're going to match you step for step. Punch for punch if necessary.
Reminds me a lot of a Joe Madden-led Tampa Bay Rays team back when they were becoming relevant and they had to get over the Red Sox hurdle. Red Sox had dominated Tampa Bay in that division for years. And things got a little chippy, and there was some bench clearing activity back in those days before the Tampa Bay Rays finally emerged in 2008. Went all the way to the World Series that year. Skip Schumacher starting it for Cincinnati. He's in a 2-2 count. And a swing and a miss. Davies with a strikeout. That is number 4 for Zach Davies.
Now, and I think that whole mentality for Joe Madden is really going to play well with his Cubs club that is entering the postseason. Madden's been there, done that. He's been to a World Series. He knows what it takes to get over the hump in the postseason. And you're right, he's not going to take it. I mean, the Cubs aren't going to take it. They're going to stand toe-to-toe, and it's going to be fun to watch as the season winds down. Great time of year. And the Brewers are going to be right in the middle of it.
Yeah, they will certainly have a say in who ends up winning the division and who takes that top wild card spot. The Brewers are going to match up against the Cubs and the Cardinals. Got the Cubs twice, as a matter of fact. 6 more games with the Cubs.
The Brewers gave the Cardinals all they wanted to handle in every game except for maybe yesterday. Cardinals took 11 innings to beat them in the first game of the series. Then it was a 1-run game the next game. So Cardinals didn't breeze through Miller Park.
No balls, 2 strikes on Phillips. Phillips crowds the plate, stands right on top. He leans over. Feels like his hands are actually in the strike zone.
Not too far, are they? Just off that inside corner.
And a ground ball in the hole. Segura's got a long throw, and Segura makes the play.
Wow.
How about that one? Gene Segura deep in the hole gets Brandon Phillips for the 2nd out of the inning.
The Reds might want to take a look at it, but Brandon Phillips is eyeballing Segura over there, saying, "Taking a hit away from me, will you?" Yep, they got him. That's a nice play by Gene Segura. Got the arm to make that play. Brandon Phillips couldn't believe it. He thought he had a hit.
There aren't many shortstops that make that play. So Phillips getting a taste of his own medicine. How many hits does he take away from batters throughout the course of a season? That time had 1 taken from him. 2 up, 2 down. Here is Todd Frazier.
And it's all about the throw. A lot of shortstops get to this baseball. A lot of shortstops are able to plant, but not many get that kind of a throw off the first base.
That's a long way across. It's about 130 feet or so, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's longer than the throw from home to second.
Yep. And that's a little over 127 feet. Yeah, 130 plus.
Frazier hits it hard to center field, but right there to make the play. Santana. 1-2-3 inning. Nice play by Segura. Reds lead it 3-1. The Brewers are coming to bat.
25th, and in honor of the late Hall of Famer and humanitarian, Major League Baseball annually bestows the Roberto Clemente Award, presented by Chevrolet, to recognize the player who best represents the game of baseball through sportsmanship, community involvement, and positive contributions both on and off the field. A player from each club was nominated, and the Brewers nominee for 2015 is Jonathan Lucroy. Fan voting and a special selection committee will determine the national winner announced at the World Series, and you can go to ChevyBaseball.com to vote for Jonathan Lucroy. And a quick update on Luke. He has missed the last 8 games, recovering from the concussion symptoms. He was hoping to catch some flat ground today, and still no timeline for his return.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Maldonado, his backup, with a ringing double into the gap in left center field, and the Brewers put a runner into scoring position. Number 5 for Maldonado.
Got some serious extension on this fastball. Yeah, first pitch from Finnegan, and Maldonado hammers it out there into the gap. Fastball right down the middle of the plate, and in with a leadoff double.
And just getting back to Lucroy and Sophia's report, Jonathan, I think he's at the point of the season he wants to come back, but there is going to be a window there where if he can't get back by a certain date, then you don't want to risk further injury. And even though he may heal, the concussion might heal, you don't want to put yourself in that position. I mean, if you get into a couple of weeks without swinging a bat, maybe 18, 20 days, and you're not able to get back in the lineup, and you're not facing major league pitching, at that point you might just consider shutting it down.
Yeah, he might come back, but he might not catch. It doesn't necessarily mean he has to go behind home plate. Pinch hit, maybe play some first, eliminate the possibility of another foul tip. But Lucroy would like to be able to get some at-bats under his belt before the offseason, so he knows that everything's fine. He can stand there in the box and not have any problems. That's important for a player, to do that before the offseason. You don't have to worry about that all year, all winter.
Davies gets a good bunt down. Frazier's only play is first. Perfectly executed sacrifice. And Maldonado at third base with 1 away.
And I think that's equally important for the Brewers as well. Get Lucroy back, get some at-bats.
Segura jumping on that first pitch. He fouls it away. Crowd getting into it. What a crowd it is tonight on a Friday night. Impressive. Fan appreciation weekend here at Miller Park. Got 2 more games remaining on this homestand, and then 3 more against the Cubs at the first week of October. We hope you'll come out. They're going to close the doors, and then there'll be no baseball here till April 4th. Against the San Francisco Giants right here, Miller Park, starting the season against the Giants and the Astros. Jumping into American League, interleague baseball right away. Next year, the Brewers interleague is against that American League West. Astros, Rangers, the A's.
Yeah, Astros are here in the first homestand.
Trip to Oakland. Trip to Seattle as well next season. Ground ball right to Duvall at first.
Bad break.
Maldonado has to stay put.
Yeah, so go with a good at bat. Well, a good approach and hit it right at Duvall. Not much you can do about that.
So 2 men are out. Here is Hernan Perez. Is 0 for 2 tonight. Got a pop up, and then he grounded out his last time up. pop this one up. Long way to go for all of those Reds, and that's off the tarp that nobody's ever seen. I'm not sure it's an actual tarp, but it looks like one. They say there's one under there.
Yep, got to have one just in case the roof doesn't work.
It's all for the regulations. We got the best kind of tarp here, and it's playing big tonight on a rainy night in Milwaukee.
A tarp that you can use that you can still keep playing.
A mechanical tarp. Look at her. I love that roof. Probably more than one should love a roof.
You know.
I mean, I'm all about baseball and the aesthetics and the outdoors. You get that here. But I'm mostly about fan comfort. And nobody provides that like Miller Park.
You're mostly into fan comfort?
Fan comfort when it comes to the discussion roof, no roof.
Not broadcaster convenience?
And broadcaster convenience. Second behind fan comfort. It's about the fan. It is Fan Appreciation Weekend, Ron. As Perez takes a call at strike 3, and the inning is over. 3-1. The Reds lead it. We are through 5 at Miller Park. Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Oh, yeah, he's got the ball and glove eye blue on. Not eye black, but eye blue. That away, kid. Got his rally hat on. Here we go to the 6th inning. Brewers going to need some hits tonight. 3-1. The Reds have the lead. Jay Bruce, who homered his last time up, will lead off this 6th inning. Zach Davies has gone 5 innings, 3 runs allowed on 5 Cincinnati hits. Shift is on for Jay Bruce.
They're planning to pull in the infield, straight away in the outfield. Puts the ball on the ground. Normally it's to the right side. He's already hit a home run into left center, so he does spray the ball around when he hits it in the air.
And there is a 4-pitch walk to Jay Bruce. Leadoff walk for Davies. Hey, don't forget, tomorrow MLB on Fox returns as the NL Central leading Cardinals take on the Cubs. And then the AL Central leading Royals square off against the Tigers in a game you can only see on FS1. Coverage begins at 11:30 a.m. Central on Fox, and then 6 p.m. on FS1. Streaming live on Fox Sports Go, as always. Ground ball to short. Chance for two. Bobbled. Segura over to Herrera. The throw to first. Not in time.
Man, Brewers once again. An easy double play. Not able to turn it. You can't ask for a better double play ball than that. You know, Herrera had one roll up his glove early in the game, and Segura has the same thing happen right on the heel of the glove. They lose the double play, but they get the force out. It's got to be two. Can't be giving extra outs.
Close play at first. Let's see here.
Safe.
Yeah, looks like Rogers came off the bag as well. It disrupts the timing. Herrera coming over from second base. He's expecting a throw in a certain rhythm in a certain place, but once Segura bobbled it, now Herrera's forced to slow down his tempo and his rhythm. He's got to arrive a little bit later, and so sometimes you don't get a good strong throw off like you would.
Yeah, you don't see Segura boot those very often. I mean, he's about as sure-handed as it gets with the ball right at him like that.
He's already made a great play tonight, but no error charge. Just a misplay. Duvall, a fly ball to right. And Braun for the second out. That'll bring up Tucker Barnhart. Having a chat with Maldonado there, fellow catcher. I'm sure he said something like, "Man, I'm really digging that chest protector, Martin. That's sweet."
You think that's what he's saying?
It's kind of I was reading lips. I kind of thought that's what he said, but I could be wrong.
Either that or cover that thing up. I can't see up here.
My only problem with his ensemble is his glove.
Should be yellow.
I think you should give him your glove.
That's right. Yeah,
that would be a perfect compliment.
That'd be a perfect match, wouldn't it?
I mean, if we're going to accessorize,
like this one here,
this is the one.
The Spiders catcher's mitt.
It's blue and yellow.
Look at that.
It's exactly what he's wearing.
And look at the target. Are you kidding me?
I like the spider.
Yeah, nice.
It's not an itsy bitsy spider by any stretch.
You know what? He can't have my gamer. Sorry.
You would let him use your gamer.
I would not.
Oh, I think you're being
selfish.
Selfish with that. It's first of all, that glove's got your name on it.
Yeah.
And a big league catcher would be using your glove.
What was I?
No, I mean, you're not currently a big league catcher.
I know, but hey.
Did you ever have a glove with your name on it that you didn't write in?
No, never did.
Now you have one
right
that's
there.
stitched in.
See? And you want me to let him use it?
How did you identify your glove when you played?
I wrote on it. Put my number on it.
With a Sharpie?
Mm-hmm. Is that all right?
Times have changed.
Did you have stitching in your glove?
That's my favorite glove I've ever laid my eyes on, by the way. That's our buddy Ed Alf.
Yeah, I have it on my hand just about every day.
It's a great glove. Have you ever caught a baseball with it?
Yeah, I have.
Maybe you and I go have a catch after the game, Rock.
Play catch?
It's hard to ask players to have gamer gloves that are different. You know what I mean? You can't match gloves with your.
Everybody's hand's different. The hand forms differently in the glove. You don't even want to pick up a guy's gamer, whether it be an infielder, catcher, whatever. You don't want to put your hand in it. Don't do it.
I was a little bit surprised. There's Scooter Gennett's glove. I can tell because that's his name right there. Stitched in.
Tools of the trade.
There's a story that Lucroy has Marcus Hamill, the bullpen catcher, breaking his gloves.
Yeah, see, that goes against what I just said.
It's totally risky because Marcus Hamill's hands are the size of a glove.
Right. I don't know.
Marcus Hamill can hold 7 baseballs in one hand. There he is.
And might eat one.
He might eat 1 or 7. Long-time Brewers bullpen catcher.
Best part of a glove, especially a new one, the smell. Yeah, once you use them for a while, not so much.
Yeah. Brian Pena is going to pinch hit here. That's why the visit to the mound. Kranitz, the pitching coach, giving a scouting report. Pena is just back. He's been nursing a hamstring injury and might have tweaked it right there. Cincinnati lost their starter Devin Mesoraco earlier in the season, hip surgery, and then Pena started catching a lot as their starter, and he's swinging the bat pretty well this year, enjoying the playing time. 282 hitter. He's not a power threat, but a switch hitter. Pinch hitting for the pitcher Finnegan, who goes 5 tonight, gives Brian Price about what he wanted. 5 innings, 1 run.
Yeah, the everyday duty's pretty well since Mesoraco's been hurt. I mean, the 280 something batting average, very good. Not a big run producer though.
Count evens at 2-2. Davies at 100 pitches. Bullpen is active. Counsell wants to get him through this 6th inning. Thornburg would be next. 2 on, 2 out, 3-1 Reds. Big pitch coming. And a ground ball right to Rogers. Nice easy hop. And good work by Zach Davies. Probably his last inning. He goes 6, gives up 3 runs. Let's see if the offense can get him back in there.
In the high 5s. Good job. 3 runs in 5 innings of work. But he's down by 2. Hey, the Brewers and Reds continue the series tomorrow night at 6 o'clock as part of Fan Appreciation Night. Presented by Chevrolet. All fans will be automatically entered to win a number of great prizes, including the grand prize of a new Chevy Trax. For details, go to Brewers.com/fan appreciation, but you better hurry.
I mean, we'll still appreciate you. You're just not going to
might not be here.
Be involved in the
right
in the car. The appreciation's not going to run out. Don't have to hurry for that. Colin Ballister on the pitch for Cincinnati. Headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brewers will have Ryan Braun lead off. He'll be followed by Davis, then Rogers. Down a pair. Finnegan, the starter. Those 5 innings with 1 run allowed. A home run by Chris Davis.
You see the numbers for Ballister. He's not a hard thrower. Fastball change, curveball for Ballister. And last appeared on Wednesday against the Giants. Gave up a run in an inning of work.
Ryan tonight is 0 for 1 with a walk. Had a stolen base. He's a stolen base away from a 25-25 season. Still got the power and the speed. Looks like he's on a pace to play in about 150 games this season.
And there was a point where he was making a run at a 300 batting average, down to 288. He'd have to get really hot to get there at this point. But he got really hot to get to where he is.
Well, and he's hitting, coming into play tonight, his last 30 games, which is a good sample size, hitting .363 with 6 homers and 21 runs batted in. Those are big numbers. Those are MVP type numbers if you put those numbers together throughout the course of a year. Good to see Braun back to form after a disappointing injury-filled season last season, specifically that thumb injury. Had to miss a game 2 nights ago with a tight back. And he was a little concerned. He thought it was serious, more serious than it ended up being. He heals well, and he gave a lot of credit to the Brewers athletic training staff.
Bronny's going to be in at least 150 games this year, would figure, if he stays healthy. 138 tonight.
Draws a walk to start the inning.
You can see more and more teams pitching around him.
Braun tops the Powerball home run leaderboard with 25. Adam Lynn still on that bench, available for counsel tonight. And Chris Davis hit his 22nd earlier tonight, back in the 2nd inning. Home runs tonight from Davis and Jay Bruce, each hitting their 22nd home runs of the season. On the ground in the hole, that's going to sneak through a base hit. Chris Davis with his 2nd hit, and Braun's on his way to 3rd after a bobble and left. Heads up base running by Braun.
Schumacher normally more short-handed than that, but kind of lifted his head, maybe rolled up his glove, and Ryan Braun always looking to take that extra base, able to jump on the mistake and get into 3rd base. So Braun at 3rd base, with nobody out. Good job by Chris Davis to find the hole. Bronny not satisfied just standing at 2nd base. He's able to get into 3rd without a throw.
1st and 3rd, nobody out. It's a big base to get. Brings in the sacrifice fly and a wild pitch. An error. Lots of ways to score a run here, and Rogers will try to deliver at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Had a double his first time up. Walked his last time up. Colin Ballister immediately in trouble. And a check on Davis at first. Scampers back.
Nothing good normally happens when you start an inning with a walk. Walk, base hit, error, and the Brewers in business.
I believe that was the catcher, Barnard, who asked for timeout, and Rogers hit the eject button just in case Allister misguided one. First and third, nobody out. And a ground ball, third base. Frazier goes to second. The out there. So he does get the lead out, but a run scores. That'll be an RBI for Rogers. And it is 3-2 Cincinnati.
Pretty good play by Todd Frazier, taking a chance, getting over to third base, or I should say throwing to second. And knowing that Chris Davis, average base runner at best. Good base running by Braun to get a good jump. No play there, no chance for a double play, but they do get the lead runner at second base.
So one away, runner at first. Here is Domingo Santana, who could give the Brewers the lead quickly. Trying to fight his way out of a swing and miss slump right now. Been racking up the strikeouts here lately. Santana's 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout.
I'm just not seeing it right now, jumping at the baseball a little bit. And when he first came up, he was staying back, looked nice and relaxed, comfortable at the plate. And just not seeing it, taking the strikes and swinging at the pitches out of the strike zone. We've all been there. Some hitters think, especially young hitters, think you have to swing your way out of these things. That sometimes you just got to stay back and take a few pitches, see the baseball into the glove.
Missed inside, 2-2 now. Yeah, it's amazing what a walk will do for a hitter in a slump.
You know, it takes only one pitch. I mean, you stay back, you wait back there, you see it really well, and that might be all it takes to get yourself out of it. It's not always a base hit.
2-2 the count. Another check on first. Skipped it in. Now it's 3-2. We'll see if Santana gets one to hit here. Rogers at first. Santana hits one sharply back up the middle, a base hit. So there you go. Let's see if that'll spark a hot streak for Domingo Santana. That was an excellent at bat.
And it all came on that 0-2 slider that he took off the outside corner. Then he took a pitch in off the plate. And then he gets one out over the plate that he is able to handle and hit hard into center field. So again, taking a couple of pitches with 2 strikes, not being over aggressive, and he finally gets one to hit.
And Brian Price is going to take the ball from his reliever after surrendering a walk and 2 hits. The Brewers are within a run, 2 men on base. We play in the bottom of the 6th, and back to the bullpen goes Brian Price. Will take a timeout. They have a run in. It is a 1-run game now. And the Brewers with 2 on, and the switch hitter Elian Herrera scheduled to hit. Rocket will be Tony Cingrani out of the Cincinnati bullpen.
Yeah, 28 games, 1 start, 0-3, a .445 earned run average for Cingrani. One of 3 left-handers down in that bullpen. The closer, Aroldis Chapman, and then former Brewer Manny Parr down in the bullpen. 3 left-handers, and you know, Cingrani last pitched on Wednesday against the Giants. Retired the only batter that he faced.
So Price would rather have Herrera as a right-handed batter. Brings on the lefty. Got Maldonado due up next. 2 on, 1 out. Elian with 2 at-bats as a right-handed hitter. Both against Finnegan. The Cincinnati starter went 5 innings, giving up that home run to Chris Davis. That was in the 2nd inning. 3 hits and 1 run for Finnegan tonight in his first career major league start. Finnegan threw 75 pitches. They're not quite ready for him to stretch out just yet. I doubt you'd see him get near 100 before the season's over. We'll see.
Pitched pretty good, though. Reds had to be happy with the way he went about his business tonight. He was able to mix his pitches pretty well.
Price has all rookies in his rotation, and it's been that way for a while. Cingrani deals a 1-2 and a foul right back. He had a good swing at it, was right on it, but
Cingrani likes his fastball. It's not all that hard. I mean, 93, 94 maybe. Likes to use it up in the strike zone. He'll throw a slider and a changeup, but mostly fastballs.
Down he goes. The fastball got him. Cingrani stuck with it, and Herrera strikes out.
That ball fastballs, nothing but fastballs to Herrera that time. And right down the middle with his last one.
Two outs in the inning. Tying run at second base. Jason Rogers, the runner there. Santana over at first. And the batter is Maldonado. Doubled his last time up. Hit a shot into left center on the first pitch he saw to start the 5th inning. If Maldonado can reach here, Adam Lind would pinch hit. At least he's on deck.
Yeah, well, you got 4 lefties. You got Ashley, the backup catcher. Lucroy not available, and then Sardinius, who's a switch hitter. 4 lefties on the bench.
But if Maldonado reaches, that'll be the time to take a shot at it for Craig Counsell, apparently. Two balls and a strike. Ryan Braun has scored. He started the inning with a walk. First and second, 2 away. The 2-1 is low. Ball 3.
Man, this is the time to use Adam Lind, because if he bats in this inning, the Brewers are in good shape. Minimum bases loaded. Why save him?
Maldonado turns on one, but hooked it foul. Hits it a ton, but he got out ahead of it.
One about to get jammed on that swing.
Turn and burn.
The old Frank Howard theory.
Big crowd getting into it. Great crowd on a Friday night. And we got a tight one here at Miller Park. 3-2 game. Tying run at second. Maldonado steps out of there. Tony Cingrani hissing at Martin Maldonado. 3-2 pitch. Runners go. Ball 4. Bases loaded. And decision time now. Counsell is going to let it ride. Here comes Adam Lind.
Yeah, nobody getting loose in that bullpen, but you got lefty versus lefty. This is the matchup that Price wants.
Not often do you pinch hit a left-handed hitter. It's going to be the end of the line for Zach Davies. But this is the shot that Counsell wants to take right here.
Yeah, good 6 innings for Davies. Well, you don't normally do this unless you really don't have any other option. You're not going to use your only other catcher. And you'd rather have Lind as opposed to Sardinius hitting from the right side.
Counsell pinch hitting into the lefty-lefty matchup. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Rogers, Santana, and Maldonado all aboard. The Brewers have 2 walks and 2 hits in this inning. A run is in. And a base hit, if it touches the outfield grass, should give the Brewers the lead. Ooh, Lind had a big cut.
Still hasn't thrown anything but a fastball, Cingrani.
Lind's next homer will be his 20th of the season. It's been a relatively healthy year for Lind, who's battled back problems through the last few years. And a wave and a miss. The first off-speed pitch gets Lind way out in front of it. 0-2 now. Lind against lefties, a .228 hitter, is looking for his first home run against a left-handed batter this year. The splits aren't the reason Lind is batting now. Counsell playing a hunch. No balls, 2 strikes. And Lind hangs in there.
Another breaking pitch. You're never going to throw. You're going to throw it to a lefty. His second best pitch. Got a hit with a fastball and back-to-back sliders.
Do it again. Another 0-2 pitch. And Lind strikes out. Cingrani strands the bases loaded. Well, the Brewers do get one, and they are down 1 as we head to the 7th. Uber's rewind. Todd Frazier driving in the first run. That was in the first inning on a line drive to left, scoring Skip Schumacher. And then Davis in the second inning tied it at 1 with his 22nd home run of the season. Been on a great run since August. Jay Bruce answered leadoff, or rather a 1-out homer in the 4th inning. Solo shot, made it 2-1, and then in that same inning it was Adam Duvall with an RBI double. Drove in Suarez to make it 3-1. The Brewers just got 1 run back on a fielder's choice, and out at second, but Braun scored the run. So that's been the scoring tonight. Each team with 5 hits. The Brewers trail the Reds 3-2 as we go to the 7th inning. And Rock, the new pitcher, is Tyler Thornburg, facing Jason Bourgeois to start the 7th.
Yeah, Tyler took his 2nd loss of the season on Tuesday against the Cardinals, gave up a run. Actually 2 runs, 1 earned run in an inning of work. He allowed that 2-run home run to Jason Hayward in extra innings. Actually, he's lost a couple of games this week. And one at Pittsburgh and one in St. Louis. But overall, he's been throwing the baseball pretty well since his recall. A .261 ERA in 15 appearances.
High drive into left center field. Bourgeois will watch this one go. Another home run for the Reds. Jason Bourgeois with his 3rd.
He got on top of a 2-1 fastball. They got to work ahead in the count. He missed with the curveball on the 1-1 pitch, and Bourgeois, sitting heater, got it and able to go on top of it and ride it on out of here. High fastball. And Bourgeois, not known for his power, able to knock one out of here. So very quickly the Reds able to get that run back.
Makes it 4-2. And here's Skip Schumacher. Now, Thornburg not pitching well right now. He's trying to turn the corner here before the season ends.
He gave up a walk-off single to Josh Harrison in Pittsburgh on Sunday. Then the 2-run home run to Jason Hayward in extra innings.
That was on Tuesday night.
Yep. And now a home run to Bourgeois.
And there's a shot through for a base hit. Schumacher singles to right. And that might spring the bullpen into action for Craig Counsell. 2 hard hit balls here in the 7th inning.
And Brewers are thinking they can't fall too much further behind, because the game gets a little bit shorter when you know you have Aroldis Chapman out in that bullpen. If you don't have a lead going into the 9th inning, it's going to make it difficult.
Brandon Phillips, who is 0 for 2. Segura made a great play in the 5th inning to rob Phillips of a base hit. Deep in the hole at short. They have gone final in New York at Citi Field. The Mets beat the Yankees 5-1. And Steven Matz won for the 4th time. What a shot he's given the Mets. I tell you, that Mets pitching staff, they are young and talented.
Yeah, look out for them right in postseason.
Matz coming back from Tommy John this year. He's 4-0 with a 1.80 ERA. Then you got DeGrom, who won the Rookie of the Year last year. Harvey, Syndergaard, and Old Man River, Bartolo Colon, anchoring it down.
Yep.
And he's pitching well too. There's a ground ball. Got a chance to turn it here. Segura to Herrera, and there you go. Finally, the Brewers turn a double play. Their 3rd chance tonight. 6-4-3 double play wipes out the base runner.
And Thornburg making a good pitch on the outside corner. Phillips tried to pull it, and the Brewers able to turn the double play. Check it out. Yeah, good pitch by Thornburg. There's a slider on the outside corner. Phillips out in front, and 6-4-3.
2 outs. Here's Todd Frazier. A changeup from Thornburg. Frazier loves the swing of that first pitch, and the Brewers were ready for it. And 2 the count. Starting to get into the portion of the schedule where you start looking at magic numbers, elimination numbers for division leaders. Cardinals are a win away from securing a postseason berth. That's a given.
Kansas City can't be too far away. An 11-game lead.
Swinging a foul. Kansas City's elimination number to secure a division title is 6 on the Twins. Twins had a rainout tonight. They've lost 3 in a row. They were postponed against the Angels. They're going to have to make that up as a doubleheader. Those are tough this time of year.
Yeah, tough to sweep doubleheaders.
A swing and a miss. He struck him out. He got him with a changeup. So a good bounce back for Thornburg, giving up a home run to start the inning. Bourgeois makes it 4-2. Brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly.
Hey, 4-2 Cincinnati as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, and Marquette Cap Night is back. The special ticket package includes a ticket to the Friday, October 2nd game against the Cubs, plus a one-of-a-kind Brewers hat themed in Marquette colors, all for just $16. For tickets, go to brewers.com/Marquette.
Well, here we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jumbo Diaz is on to pitch for the Reds.
Yeah, Jumbo can get it up there pretty good. 99 miles an hour. Big fastball, slider, 54th appearance. 4.15 ERA. Oh, look at the strikeouts, 56. Punch outs, only 14 walks in 52 innings. but he has allowed 7 home runs.
The most perfectly named big leaguer currently pitching and currently playing in the major leagues, Jumbo Diaz.
So the Brewers better get something going in the next couple of innings.
Now the Reds make it an 8-inning game for sure with Chapman down there, but their lead-ins to Chapman have done a good job. Top of the Brewers batting order: Gene Segura, Hernan Perez, and then Ryan Braun. There's Aroldis Chapman. Looks like Jeanette's going to hit next. So Segura, Jeanette, and Braun due up. Brewers down 2. Home runs tonight from Jay Bruce and Jason Bourgeois. Chris Davis is homered for Milwaukee. "31-year-old Jumbo Diaz, native of the Dominican Republic, and just his second year in the big leagues. He didn't make it till he was 30. Significant weight loss. As big as he is, he's dropped a ton of weight. 70 pounds at one point. That's why he wears uniform number 70.
And he lost the weight and he ended up in the big leagues. He got up to the big leagues last year out of the Dominican Republic, only 31 years old.
0-2 pitch. Fouls it away.
Yeah, Brewers had a ton of chances in this game so far tonight. I mean, they've had base runners. They've left 7 stranded. And as we enter the bottom of the 7th inning, the Brewers tonight are 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Yeah. Hit here and there, it might be a different story.
A couple of strikeouts in the 4th inning with a runner in scoring position. Stranded the bases loaded last inning. 0-2 pitch, and Segura strikes out. Jumbo Diaz gets him. Back to our Carsoup.com trivia question. We are wondering tonight, who is the first pitcher in MLB history to have 4 straight seasons of at least 30 saves and 100 strikeouts? Is it that man? You know it is. One of the most dominant closers in the game, Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, the 100 strikeouts is the tough one. There's been a number of guys that have had 30 or more saves in long stretches, but it's all the big strikeout totals for Chapman. It separates him. Averaging almost 2 punch-outs per inning.
And he's the guy you don't want to have to face in the 9th inning down a couple of runs. So it is go time, and the Brewers are at the top of their order. Jeanette pinch hitting. A .233 batting average as a pinch hitter. It's interesting, though, he has 2 pinch hit home runs this season. He's hit 6 all year, 2 of them as a pinch hitter. 11 of his 29 RBIs have come as a pinch hitter. Usually he's a pinch hit and play.
That comes in and then goes over to second base, which is what he'll do tonight.
Which might give him another at bat later in the game. There's a called strike. Evens the count at 2 apiece. 2-2 on Jeanette. First of a 3-game series with the Reds will be here through Sunday. Sunday afternoon wraps up the homestand. The penultimate homestand of the season, Rob.
Yeah, penultimate. Like it.
1 more to go against the Cubs.
That one almost hit him.
Has it an intimidating presence 60 feet away from you, right? 2-2 pitch, and down he goes. Up the ladder, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. And Jeanette is out. Back-to-back Ks. Diaz throwing up the A-game stuff right now.
8 strikeouts for Reds pitching since the beginning of the 4th inning. Here it is, 98 miles an hour and up in the zone, and good luck trying to get a piece of that. And you can see it well. It's close to the eyes, but very difficult to hit up there.
It's like a big piece of chocolate cake, you know. It looks good, but it's just not good for you. Braun jumping on the first pitch.
When's the last time you had a piece of chocolate cake?
In my mind's eye alone. Got to stay away from that. It's been a while. You too. You're showing good discipline.
I am.
Now, chocolate brownies, that's a different story. Braun pops it up. Phillips will make the call and the catch behind his head. And the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down. Jumbo Diaz. 3 quick outs. We go to the 8th. Their way back tonight. They have not had the lead in this game. Scooter Gennett will stay in to play second base after his pinch hit appearance. That's going to slide Herrera over to third. And Jay Bruce will lead off for the Reds. Maldonado's got the gear on. We had one piece to complement that, Rock. So look, in the truck they did a little work.
Superimpose the spider's glove.
And see, doesn't it look so much better? It's even a giant glove.
I know what, I changed my mind. I'd let him use it.
That's what convinced you.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's hard to give up your gamer glove. But
see, I don't have the vision. I have to see it, you know. And it looks a lot better than that one. You want to be color coordinated, Maldy? I got something for you.
I mean, if you're going to take the step to use the cheese chest protector.
Yeah, look at that.
It's not cheesy. It's just cheese-like. This would be a perfect compliment.
I'm ready to get down there.
All right, let's do it. I'm feeling a post-game instructional coming at some point.
No. I'm not talking about that.
Mind.
I'm talking about game.
Oh, I was getting all excited.
Game action. That'd be a sad sight.
How many innings you got in your Rock?
Couple pitches.
One maybe. There's no doubt you'd be able to get down fine. It's the getting up part that would really. That's when we're going to need the medical assistance.
You know what? It's been a while since I've caught 100 miles an hour. I mean, I think it'd get a piece of me before I caught it. Reaction time has slowed down a bit.
What's it like catching 100 miles an hour? I would imagine you have to relax.
Yeah, you got to relax. You really just can't. It's going to loosen it, relax the wrist.
Good change up there by Thornburg. He's got that pitch going now.
And you just hope that the pitcher is somewhere around home plate. It's a lot easier to catch 100 miles an hour than it is to hit it.
Who's the hardest thrower that you caught in your career, would you say?
I would say it's Brian Harvey.
Yeah.
Closer with the Angels back in those days.
That's a good one. He had the Fu Manchu going back then, didn't he?
He had that upper 90s with that splitter. And I just see that thing in my sleep. Bounce it off my wrist, elbows.
Wake up in a cold sweat.
Man.
Wild pitches.
And you know, you catch him, he's a closer. I mean, he throws that splitter in there. You got to block it. I mean, that's a game. You got to block him. And you got to be down in the dirt to be effective. Harvey was good. He could throw.
Brian Harvey. One and two to Suarez.
Sackman can bring it in there pretty good. And then Plesac.
Early in the game, I was just going to ask you who the hardest throwing Brewer you caught.
Plesac can bring it. Yep.
And a little bit on the funky side and left-handed.
Yep.
Did he go? No, he did not. Side swing. Let's see. It's close.
Yep. Could have gone either way.
Close. Maldonado is pointing that black glove at him. Had it been the blue and yellow glove, he might have gotten the call right there. And there's ball 4. 1 out walk. Suarez is aboard for the 3rd time. Has a double tonight. And here is Adam Duvall.
I'll tell you another guy that can bring it pretty good before he got hurt was Nieves.
Oh, yeah?
He had a good arm. I mean, live arm. Threw hard. Good movement on it.
You could say he had no-hit stuff.
Had no-hit stuff. Yes, he did.
Has the only no-hit stuff that produced a no-hitter in the Brewers organization. Was that a turn and burn, Rock?
Knew the fastball was coming and got the head out.
He put that fastball by him. 0-2 the count.
When you see a guy that far ahead of your fastball, you pull the string on him a little bit, give him a change up. But Thornburg went right back to the fastball.
Yeah, maybe Duvall is saying, I got to slow it down a little bit. I'm a little jumpy. Then he put a fastball right by him. Now what?
Another one.
Went back to it, this time at 93 miles an hour. Thornburg was a center fielder in college. He was a two-way player. Brewers liked his athleticism. And there was some talk that he was draftable as an outfielder, but much more potential as a pitcher. He's battled some elbow problems. No surgery at this point, but he's had some ligament damage and
he's had to reinvent himself. I mean, he's lost about 5 miles an hour on his fastball since he first came up here to the Brewers a few years ago. Used to be in the 96, 97 range. Now 92, 93. It's a big difference. Changeup.
That was a good one, but Duvall didn't bite on it. He put it right where he wanted. Now it's 2-2. Corey Knebel getting loose. 2-2 pitch. Liner foul. That was on an off-speed pitch out in front of it. Here it is, the 2-2, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Thornburg went back to the heat, and his second strikeout of the inning is third overall. All right, partner, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Don't forget to use that hashtag #WisDataStrongFan. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile, and it comes to us from Abby with a Gene Segura pop-up there. I'm thinking that's Abby on the left.
Okay. No argument.
I feel like those two might be related. That's about all I can offer.
That's more than is expected. That's well done.
More than is expected or wanted. Tucker Barnhart with 2 away. Looking ahead to the Brewers' 8th. Now Davis, Rogers, and Santana, middle of that order coming up. Three 3-0 the count. Got a runner at first, 2 away. Taking all the way is Barnhart. Takes a strike. And he lost him. Something about Barnhart tonight. The Brewers have walked him 3 times. The 8th place hitter.
That's some pretty close pitches early in that at bat, just missing the inside corner, and finally walked him on a changeup.
So it'll be a pitching change. Thornburg can't quite get through 2 innings. And he will exit. Counsell takes the ball, and he'll go to the bullpen. The Brewers can ill afford to go down any more here. Down 4-2. 2 outs in the inning, and we'll set up the new hurler after this.
holding a 2-run lead, and don't miss the final DNR day of the season on Sunday, October 4th against the Cubs. Through this special ticket package, you'll get a ticket to the Brewers season finale against Chicago, plus a limited edition camo Brewers cap, all for just $17. For tickets, go to brewers.com/DNR.
Corey Knebel out of the Brewers bullpen in relief of Tyler Thornburg. He's trying to get the final out of this Cincinnati 8th inning. Reds have 2 on 2 walks, and the numbers on Knebel.
And more strikeouts than innings pitched. And Corey threw a scoreless inning up against the Cardinals on Tuesday night. Struck out a batter, stranded an inherited base runner. Giving up 8 home runs, but a .220 opponent batting average. Got to get this out here. Can't fall behind anymore.
Now the batter is going to be Brennan Bosch, the former Tiger. He will pinch hit for Jumbo Diaz. Reds have used Finnegan, the starter. Ballister went just a third of an inning, gave up a run. Sengrane got out of the inning, stranded the bases loaded, and then Diaz worked a scoreless 7th. 2 on, 2 out. Knebel to Bosch. These two were both with the Tigers. Knebel traded from the Tigers to the Rangers. Did not pitch in the big leagues for the Rangers. Was flipped for Giovanni Gallardo, one of the 3 that came to the Brewers.
And he's done well here in Milwaukee. He's had some home run issues from time to time, but overall he's done a nice job in middle to late relief. Big fastball, good overhand curveball.
One ball, 1 strike on Bosch. Shattered his bat. Segura can't get it. A base hit. And another run is coming in. Runner on the way to third, and it's a bad throw off the mark. And the Reds lead it 5-2. A broken bat RBI single by Bosch.
Yeah, that hurts right there. That 3-run lead. And Bosch able to get enough of it to muscle it into center field. Not a bad pitch. And just able to get enough of it. You see Segura not able to knock it down into center field, and Barnhart able to get to third base. Throw off the mark, a good throw, and he's out easily. Brewers just not able to execute defense, whether it's errors or plays that should be made that are not. Double plays, a throw right there on the bag, and innings over.
2 outs for Bourgeois. Top of the order for the Reds. Down the right field line, foul. Jason Bourgeois had some time here in Milwaukee. That was the 2009 season. Breaking ball, strike.
And it's had a nice career. I mean, he's been able to, he's bounced around a little bit, but right now we're getting a lot of playing time because Billy Hamilton has not been in the starting lineup. He's battling injuries. Started with the White Sox, the Brewers, Houston for a couple of years, Kansas City, Tampa, now Cincinnati, second year with the Reds. So bouncing around, but still collecting big league time.
He's got a home run tonight, Bourgeois. Back in the 7th inning, his 3rd of the year. That made it 4-2. Reds have added to it, now 5-2. And a ground ball gloved by Rogers. Good play over there. That will end the inning, but the Reds get a big run. RBI single from Brennan Bosch makes it 5-2.
Coming up after the ball game, 5-2 Brewers trail, and Chris Davis will lead off this inning for Milwaukee. And Augie, we know he hits it hard. Home runs, and he can hit these support wires here when the roof is closed as well. We've seen both here tonight, but it's the power we love when it's the home run.
Yeah, it's no doubt about it. When you talk about Chris Davis, the way he's swinging the bat right now, such a good approach. Getting the ball on the inside part of the plate, is able to go out, turn on it, drive the ball in the ballpark. Comes in the sixth inning after Ryan Braun had walked. Comes up to base hit to start a rally for the Brewers.
We're going to talk about Chris Davis on our post-game report here coming up on Fox Sports Wisconsin. How many home runs he hit a year ago to now, and how many fewer plate appearances. All those numbers, will add them up for you coming up in just a bit, Brian.
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. Here we go to the bottom of the eighth. 5-2. Sam LeCure is in for Cincinnati.
Spent most of the year down in the minor leagues. LeCure in game number 12, a .318 earned run average. They try to protect the 3-run lead. One home run, an opponent batting average at 175. So LeCure, since his recall, has thrown the baseball well. LeCure with a fastball that might touch 90 miles an hour, but he's got a terrific changeup.
Jason Bourgeois moves over to left field from center to left. And Ryan Lamar is in the game in center field, tightening up the defense with a 3-run lead. 2 balls, no strikes. And that one is in there. Strike one on Davis. Another one in there. 2-2 now.
That's about as animated as you'll see Chris Davis right there.
If only he could say what he really thinks.
Not pulling a Joey Votto, right?
2-2 pitch on the ground to short. Suarez for out number 1. Brewers trying to get off this train right now. It's been rough. 6 straight losses. Have not won a game since last Friday in Pittsburgh. Actually, last Thursday in Pittsburgh, I beg your pardon.
Most of the games have been pretty competitive. I mean, closely played. Brewers just not able to get that big hit or getting out when they really need it. A couple of extra inning losses. And tonight it's been lack of production with runners in scoring position tonight. 0 for 11.
Rogers did drive in a run in the 6th. That was on a fielder's choice. He's had a good night tonight. He's doubled. He's walked. He's driven in a run. Everywhere he's gone, he's hit. Trying to get enough playing time in the big leagues to settle in, use his game planning skills. He's a guy that never gives away an at-bat, no matter the score.
And patient hitter, even for a guy that doesn't get a lot of playing time, and that's a difficult thing to do.
And that one's launched left field. This is way back. Goodbye, Jason Rogers. His 3rd home run. 5-3 Cincinnati as Rogers sends one way out of here.
Yep, off-speed pitch, and he's able to wait back long enough and get the barrel on it. Always seems to be productive when he's in the lineup. Always seems to be able to do something at the plate. Impressive hitter. Check it out. That was a slider that just spun up there, and Jason Rogers way back in the second deck, about halfway up.
Back to a 2-run game. Here is Santana. Takes a strike. Domingo has a hit tonight. He had a single on a grind him out at bat in the 6th inning. Got it into a full count, laid off some tough pitches, and he rips one to left field. Here he comes. Back-to-back at bats with hits for Santana.
I would imagine here comes Jim Price pretty soon, or Brian Price should say. Here he is. Back-to-back hard hit balls. And that'll be the end of the line for LeCure. He wants a lefty.
Which will be the former Brewer, Manny Parra. So the Brewers are right back in it. Got a chance with the tying run coming up. 1 man out, and LeCure is out of the game for Manny Parra. We'll set him up after this. The bottom of the 8th inning, his 3rd home run. And the Brewers get a follow-up hit out of Domingo Santana. Now the tying run will bat. There's a familiar face. Manny Parra, former starting pitcher with the Brewers, now coming out of the bullpen.
Only 34 appearances for Manny. He's been on the disabled list 3 times: neck, elbow, and shoulder. And since his return from the most recent stay on the disabled list back on September 4th, he's made 3 scoreless appearances.
Reds converted him into that bullpen, feeling like he'd be effective, and he's actually been effective at times when he's been able to stay on the field. Elian Herrera with Santana at first. 1 man out. Brewers are down 2 in the 8th.
And Manny can throw it up there in the mid-90s. He's got that good split-fingered fastball that he really likes to use against right-handed batters. Started to throw it against lefties as of late. And he'll throw the slider. But the splitter has been a difference maker for him.
One ball, 2 strikes on Herrera. Reds have been attacking Herrera with fastballs tonight. Has a couple of strikeouts in his last 2 at-bats on fastballs. There is a great sense of urgency to score in the 8th inning with Aroldis Chapman sitting in the bullpen.
They haven't blown too many leads. And not only have the Reds been attacking him with a fastball, but they made a concerted effort to have him bat right-handed. The second time that pitching change has been made for a left-hander when Herrera has been coming to the plate.
We'll see if he sticks with a fastball. Martin Maldonado due next. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A little half swing foul. I'm sure the mental battle with Parra, he knows his splitter is an out pitch. It's a swing and miss pitch.
But
it also produces a lot of wild pitches, and the fastballs worked well against Herrera. He sticks with a fastball and a ground ball to third, out at second, out at first. Fastball it is. Around the horn double play, but the Brewers get one. Jason Rogers launches one way out of here, halfway up into the bleachers. Brewers down 2.
5-2, 5-3 to the Reds. And the all-rookie series continue. We check out our Miller Lite What's on Tap tomorrow. It will be Josh Smith against Taylor Youngman, and then Ariel Pena as well against Anthony Discafiani. And Craig Counsell talking about this all-rookie series. He says on a positive note, he says it's a sign that your organization has pitchers who are ready to pitch in the big leagues. And he also said the rarity of this happening, it's a sign how difficult it is for pitchers to break in to a starting rotation. And he spoke about Ariel Pena, saying he's one of those guys. There's an open-ended question as to what kind of role he'll play in the future for the Brewers. So it's a matter of him getting outs here in the big leagues, how hitters respond to him, how he makes adjustments in the game. And those are all questions that they look to answer, giving him more opportunities to start and find a role for him moving forward.
Yeah, we'll see how he goes. Thanks, Sophia. Got a great opportunity here, does Pena. They have him, or had him, pegged as a reliever, and then he ended up starting games, his last 7 games in AAA, and he's been able to fill a nice spot. Matt Garza, you might know, as Sophia has reported, that he has left the team. He and his wife expecting twins, and so he is no longer with the ball club. Craig Counsell saying he will be back next year. He'll be back in the rotation. They're counting on him. They had great conversations before he left. So Pena taking that spot of Matt Garza.
It's going to be very important for Garza to come back strong. I mean, he is the bell cow of the starting rotation. I mean, he's the guy that everybody's going to look up to. The veteran guy. He's been in the postseason. He's thrown a no-hitter. He's got to come back strong if his starting rotation wants to be a good one. Got to be able to count on him.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Ivan De Jesus, pinch hitting here.
And that certainly was not the case this year. But Pena last start against the Cardinals, a good one. 5 innings, 1 run against St. Louis. That was the extra inning game. He had a great slider on Tuesday.
Another full count. Knebel giving up a run on a broken bat single last inning. Popped him up. Foul territory. That'll be in the seats. Got some finals to report. The Blue Jays won again tonight. Toronto beat Boston. And the Yankees lost tonight to the Mets. Toronto has gotten a boost as Marcus Stroman has returned. He's not a big guy, but he packs some punch. Talented young right-hander. He's back, and he's 2-0 now. Won his 2nd ball game of the year. They weren't sure they were going to get him back this season. That's a nice ad. And the Blue Jays beat Boston tonight behind Stroman. Meanwhile, the Yankees lost to the Mets 5-1. Steven Matz, talented young rookie, also coming back from injury. Tommy John surgery, won his 4th game. 4-0. So the Blue Jays are 4.5 up on the Yankees right now in the division. Mets and the Blue Jays did the most with their trades. Toronto had a jaw-dropping deal that included Troy Tulowitzki, who's going to be out and is going to be questionable whether he can return if they make it to the postseason. He got a fractured up in his shoulder blade. There's a fracture in his shoulder blade.
Yeah, not much you can do about that, but injuries have always been an issue for him.
Josh Donaldson having an MVP type season. There's ball 4. Knebel throwing a lot of pitches.
That's all fastballs to DeJesus. DeJesus had some great pitches to hit, kept fouling them off. And then finally Knebel not able to find the strike zone.
And here's Brandon Phillips. That race in the American League West is tight as well. Remember, the Rangers sweeping Houston. Texas has won 5 in a row, but they're losing tonight against the Mariners. 3-1 ninth inning. And the Astros had a lead, but they gave it up late. Oakland has come back. And the A's, with 2 in the 8th, now lead 4-3. Houston trying to fight off a tailspin. You give up late leads too this time of year. Those have lasting effects.
Yeah, they're having a rough time. They have a losing streak going. Texas losing.
Dodgers have a 2-1 lead over the Pirates. Cubs already beat the Cardinals today, afternoon game. And so the Cubs could get within 1 of Pittsburgh in that wild card race. Greinke is on the mound for the Dodgers. It's a 2-1 lead in the 4th inning for LA. Into center, hit hard. Santana got a long way to go, and he makes the catch. Domingo Santana. What a play.
Yeah, that's a beauty. Boy, he needed every bit of 6'5" to be able to hold that one in. What a great play. Right over his head. Those are the toughest ones for an outfielder. You want to take a look at that on the board.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah, why not? I mean, here it is. Goes straight back, and look at a perfectly timed leap as that ball was kind of slicing away from him. Actually had to bring the glove back behind his head to make that catch. That was a beauty.
Man, he's looking more and more like a center fielder every day. Look at Knebel's reaction. That's how you do it.
Yeah, that was nice.
There's a shot. Frazier rips one into left field. That's down, and that's going to bounce out. A ground rule double. Todd Frazier with his 2nd hit of the night. That'll make it 1st and 3rd.
And nobody getting loose in that Brewers pen. Looks as though this is going to be Knebel's inning.
Here's Jay Bruce.
And walk him to set up the double play.
Which will load the bases for Eugenio Suarez. So there's an intentional walk to Jay Bruce. 2nd time he's walked. Also has a homer tonight. And a big spot for Knebel. It's his inning. These are moves you would never make, or lack of moves that you wouldn't consider if you're in a pennant race. But you have to remember, this is evaluation time. And this is Knebel's inning. Those are his runners, and they're going to allow him to see if he can get out of it.
Yep, get yourself in trouble, get yourself out of it. That's what all the learning process is in the major leagues. Can't be always looking over your shoulder. Not that he is, but you can't look over your shoulder and get into trouble and have somebody bail you out. Got to do it yourself. Good curveball.
And a swing and a miss.
And because of the curveball, the fastball gets right by him.
One and two. Looking for a strikeout or a ground ball. Brewers are going to try to turn two to get out of this inning. In the dirt, Maldonado with a good play. Good block. Saves a run. Knebel ready for a 2-2. And a called strike three. Suarez slams the bat.
Right down the middle of the plate. What are you looking for? Bases are loaded. Boy, you guess it with 2 strikes. He's looking for the curveball. The first strike that Knebel threw to him. Boy, taking that with the bases loaded. Yep, I'd slam my bat down too. Boy, what are you looking for? Yep, end of that bat.
Perfectly good bat. Unused.
Not its fault, right? Swing me, I'll hit it.
Here's Adam Duvall. And a curveball strike, a dandy.
Always dangerous guessing with 2 strikes. Had to be.
Ninth inning, the Reds lead by 2, but they have the bases loaded. Knebel trying to grind his way through this one. It's 0-2.
Yep, the hard foul balls that the balls hit in this game have all been on changeup. The changeup from Thornburg. Saw some changeups from Davies.
Knebel came on, got out of the 8th inning. This is his 25th pitch of the 9th. It has been a battle, but he's got a chance to get out of it with no runs. The 0-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the inning is over. Knebel with back-to-back strikeouts with the bases loaded. All set up by this catch. One of the best we've seen out of Domingo Santana. And then a punch out of Adam Duvall. The Brewers with a fighting chance tonight. Well, this one coming right down to the end. 5-3. The Reds lead it. They have their all-star closer on the mound. Brewers baseball presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. A Friday night and a big crowd here. Ivan De Jesus Jr. will take over at first base. And one of the toughest in the game, Aroldis Chapman on the mound.
Yeah, 13 strikeouts shy of 2 per inning. 107 punch-outs and 60 innings of work. He has blown 3 saves, including his last time out on Tuesday against the Giants. He had a blown save and an inning and 2/3, so Reds really wanted that one. He pitched extended innings.
Chapman, a native of Cuba, call him the Cuban Missile. He has thrown the hardest fastball ever measured at 105.2 miles per hour. Did that a few years ago in San Diego. His cruising speed is 98, 99 miles an hour. And then he gives you the elevating speeds of 100 and 101.
103 we've seen. Saw that at Cincinnati a couple years ago.
Maldonado, look out. Walked him on 4 straight. How about that?
And now the tying run to home plate. Why not?
Well, take a swing at it. Here comes Luis Sardinas, who is a switch hitter.
Well, it's been since Tuesday for Chapman. Mentioned inning and 2/3. That's somewhat rare. Usually a 1 inning and done.
Brewers down 2. Chapman's blown 3 this season. Usually when he does that, when he struggles, he walks batters. That's a strike.
Took a little off.
Just to get over 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Controlled fastball. Yikes. Up and in. Sardinas fouls it away. That was 100. 0-2 the count.
Oh, that was really up and in. Almost hit him.
But that's what you have to do. You pretty much have to make up your mind.
You got to get that bat going early. And that one right off the mask of Joe West.
Oh-2 pitch. Got him. 101. Sardinas strikes out.
Tough duty, isn't it? Sitting on the bench. Having to face that. Yeah, this one right down the middle. Well, Chapman, even with a man on base, he's not about to try and quicken his delivery. Right by him, up in the zone.
And a bouncer over to first. They'll go to second for the out there, and that's all they'll get. And the Brewers are down to their last out. Segura reaches on a fielder's choice. Think about the entire population of the earth, and you're the best. You're number one. You throw the hardest of anybody alive.
Yeah. And he's got a slider and a changeup that he's been messing around with.
Yeah, I remember they tried him as a starting pitcher in the minor leagues when they first signed him. He signed a major league contract, a 6-year deal. And the idea was that he would be a starter, but he's much more effective as a closer, even though I think he still would prefer to be a starting pitcher. But you can't argue with the results. He's 27 now. He's actually in the final year of that original contract he signed, but he's still property of the Reds for next season. He'll become a free agent in 17. So if the Reds have a bad year next year, I would imagine Chapman would be traded, and the Reds are going to get a haul of prospects.
They're not going to be able to re-sign him. I mean, he's going to get a lot of money.
1-1. Nevin Ashley getting a taste of that 100-mile-an-hour fastball. That was a slider there. Boy, wouldn't that be something? Nevin Ashley.
Hang that slider again.
Could hit one out of here to tie this up. Runner goes. Ashley fouls it away. 2-2.
How about a bloop then a blast?
Okay.
You know, get on. Let Ryan Braun hit one out of here. I think that would be preferable.
Ashley's getting Rosenthal and Chapman in his last 2 pinch hit appearances. Welcome to the big leagues after a decade in the minor leagues.
He'll take it.
Heck yes. Happy to be here. See if he can get one. Runner goes. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. The ball game is over, and the Reds win. The Brewers drop their 7th straight. Tough times in Brewerland right now.